It is the moment of truth. So Kohei has returned from his little trip wherever he was, and he's back. And for him, everything seems to just be going as normal. So he's like, "Hey, Sienna, good to see you again." And Sienna's like, "Yeah, not so great to see you again, Kohei. I'm really unhappy with how things are going with our relationship, and yeah, I'm really thinking about breaking it off with you." And he's like, "Sienna, stop playing." She's like, "I'm not playing around. I'm being entirely serious." And he's like, "I don't really want to have this conversation, and with Alex here, and stop messing around." And she's like, "Look, I'm not messing around." And he's like, "For Pete's sake, I was looking forward to seeing you all vacation long, and this is how you repay me," or something like that. So Sienna just lets him know, "This is great. Let me just show you what the game said that she said. Pretty awesome." She said, "It's not my fault. This is your fault." So Kohei settles at the table, and Alex is trying to talk some sense into him. Like, you know darn well where she's coming from. Stop acting like you don't understand that she's unhappy in a relationship. And he's like, "Alex, you stay out of this. You just keep out of it. It's nothing to do with you." And she's like, "Look, all I have to say is she's much happier with somebody else, and he treats her so much better than you treat her." And Koei's like, "What is she talking about? Who's this other guy?" And Sienna's like, "Alex, why would you say something like that right in front of him?" Alex is like, "You need to tell him the truth. Just come out and tell him the truth." She's like, "Anyway, as I was saying, he's a much better catch than you, Kohei, and you know better." She's all, "Talk to the hand about it." And Kohei is really not having it. He's like, "Look, ladies, I don't know what you guys think you're doing, but you can't just be springing this kind of stuff on somebody out of the blue. Sienna, why didn't you ever tell me anything?" And Alex is like, "You knew. You absolutely knew, you loser." And Kohei is like, "Look, I'm tired of you two ganging up on me." He's like, "If you're unhappy, you say something. You don't just immediately break up with somebody." And Sienna's like, "I called you. I tried to talk to you. I tried to text you. You didn't text me back." And so I got this CC, right? And it's got some interesting options for us to do. So I think I'm gonna choose this one, and we're gonna say that we're in love with Paka. Let's see what happens. All right. She's like, "Look, you remember Paka? You met him at the baby meeting party, or whatever. That's who I'm seeing." And he's like, "That guy? That loser?" He's like, "You dumping me for that loser? Are you serious?" Oh, and I guess now they hate each other. Aw. They didn't like each other to begin with anyway. So here goes Kohei, angry, so he's stomping around the place. Ah, okay, so this gives Shohei an option. And so Shohei is not the type to give in so easy. So we're going to say that he's going to try and stay. So Shohei thinks everything is getting a little bit better. But Alex is still kind of instigating. She's like, "She told me about what happened over the New Year holiday. He romanced her, he sang her songs and played the piano for her." And Sienna's like, "Can you really stop, Alex? You're not helping." And so Kohei is like, "So you were basically cheating on me behind my back with him. I cannot believe you. I just honestly cannot believe you would do something like that to me. How dare you?" And Sienna's like, "He put his hands on me. He put his hands on me." And so Alex comes to the rescue, and Alex is like, "You touch her again, I'll put you flat on your butt," she says. "Where do you get off?" And Kohei's like, "Look, I told you, leave me out. You stay out of this. This has nothing to do with you. You instigating little," right? And so Alex is like, "I'm trying to talk some sense into you. This is what happens with all of your relationships. You never pay attention to the girl. You never call her. You never talk to her. You never send her chocolates or anything. We've been over this." And Kohei's like, "You don't have to keep saying these things in front of her. It's none of her business what my past relationships were like." And Alex is like, "You are the worst. You are the absolute worst. I hate having you as a cousin, and I hate working with you, you know?" And Kohei is like, "Well, fine. You hate working with me? Then that's it. It's over. You find yourself a new job." And Alex is like, "We live together, dummy, and we're business partners. You can't just kick me out of the company. What's wrong with you?" Kohei storms off without saying anything. "Oh, bye." He just jogs. Really, really tense situation. So during that last part, Sienna had kind of stepped out to go take care of the baby, and she saw him trying to leave, and she was like, "Hey, don't leave yet. I'm not done with you." So she decides she wants to break up with him because he put hands on her. You don't put hands on people like that. Okay, so the game gives us a lot of options about how are we gonna break it off, right? I think this one's so fascinating. There's two options I'm kind of going between. But I think after all, we're going to choose that he didn't really pay attention to her. Like he was basically what they call a ghost of a partner. I think that's perfect for this situation. All right, so let's see what Kohei says. So you can see he's super angry. And he's like, oh, so it's really over. It's over for good. And she's like, yes, absolutely, it's over for good. And so for her, it's kind of like a weight off of her shoulders, even though she's still kind of facing him and dealing with him. And now they despise each other because I guess that's just how you feel when you break up with somebody. I wouldn't know. I'm a very boring person, so I don't usually even do this kind of stuff in the game. So a lot of this is kind of new to me. I'm not even sure which part is mod and which part is game. Okay. So anyway, you can see that Sienna is going through a range of emotions, right? So there's something she's feeling that's kind of sad, something she's feeling she's kind of confident. But Kohei is just really angry. Kohei is just like super angry. And I think that's really fitting, like for their personalities. And again, I'm not sure if this is like really intuitive of the game or if it's just simply the luck of the draw. That his anger is peeking through a lot more than his sadness is, and that her sadness is peeking through a lot more than like her anger at the situation is. But yeah, so they've basically broken it off, and Kohei is seriously not happy. And so he basically like shouts at her and he says, you know what, that's it. I'm off this project and you owe me my cut of the deal. And she's like, what cut of the deal? She's like, we never signed any agreements or anything. He's like, you owe me money. I'll send you a bill later. He's like, I hope she doesn't try to get me for the child support. He's kind of paranoid, but he stomps off anyway. And she's like, he's not even the father of my child. Like, what's he talking about child support? I'm so happy I broke up with him. So she heads back in to talk to Alex, who's just sitting there waiting patiently, I guess. And yeah, so again, she's kind of feeling confident about it. I think that once she went back inside, like after it's over, it's like, oh, it's over. He's gone. He stomped off and I never have to see him again, basically, is how she feels. And it's just like a weight has just been lifted off of her shoulders. And she's like, you know what? I think I did the right thing. And Alex is like, of course you did the right thing. Like this has basically been in the making this entire time. And so then Sienna's like, after this, I'm going to, call Paka and let him know the good news. And that's it. I'm just going to be dating Paka from now on. And I'm super excited about that. And Alex is like, you go, girl. You go, girl. And, so Sienna's feeling a bit cheered up from that. But she is a little bit worried about what their relationship, is going to be like from now on. So she's like, well, what are we going to do about the finances? What are we going to do about, he said you're fired or whatever. And, Alex is like, he can't fire me. This is not how it works. He's just angry and things will be okay. Don't worry about it. So Sienna still has some doubts. Oh, by the way, Kohei died because he was too angry. And I don't know why. I brought him back to life with a cheat and he was just burnt in the house for some reason. So don't ask. Okay, anyway, here we have some crazy news. So the baby was due around Christmas time, and now it's a few days after New Year's. So Monica is teleporting for some reason. But basically, not Blaine, what's his name? Bill. Bill's on the phone trying to let Sienna know, hey, we're going to be at the hospital. So, grab the trailer, grab a taxi, do whatever you have to do, but just meet us at the hospital because it's go time. Your mom wanted to wait it out as long as she could here at the house. And, basically we're going to be going to the hospital. And so Sienna says, okay. And so she's going to meet them there. And so then Blaine's like, Mom, you okay? Is everything okay? She's like, this is the third time I've done this. I'm perfectly fine. All right. So Monica's pretty, she's pretty cool. Okay. So anyway, Blaine meets her outside the room, just so that she knows where to go. And so she's super excited. He's like, the baby is so cute. And she's like, the baby's so cute. And so they hug each other because they have a new little sister, actually a little sister. And their little sister's name is Rebecca. So we have Sienna, we have Blaine, and we have little Rebecca McClure. All right, and you can see the dad is just, so excited about having just had his new baby, or, having his wife having had their new baby, I guess I should say. And so then Sienna's like, Dad, it's not about you. What are you doing? So anyway, I would like for them to talk a little bit more with Monica, but I was afraid she was going to get up, and I just wanted her to be resting in the bed. So we'll just say that they said hello to her, and, hey mom, how you doing, and all this kind of stuff. Give her a little kiss on the cheek and all that. You can't really do that in the game. It's really unfortunate, but it is what it is. And so then the dad's like retailing the tale of like how quickly the baby came, like it just slid right out, and Monica's just sitting there like, yeah, it was piece of cake, no big deal. And so Sienna gets up to go take care of the baby, and Monica just kind of drifts off to sleep. She's very tired, even though the labor wasn't very long. Yeah, she just had a baby, so I'm sure she's busted. So she's gonna be napping for a while. And Sienna's meeting her little baby sister, so cute. You know how in the game they always give you 3 skin tones? This baby is a black skin tone, and I have no idea why, but I find it hilarious. Okay, anyway, so Paka shows up because Sienna sent him a message, and he was like, "Oh my God, that's awesome! Where?" And so she told him where. She didn't expect him to show up, and he brought some beautiful flowers for Monica as well. So she's like, Paka, you are absolutely the best. And she's like, I have the most wonderful news for you, but I'll tell you in a minute. And he's like, okay. And so Sienna hasn't had a chance to hug her dad because he was too excited earlier. He was just telling tales and stuff. And so you can see that Blaine and Paka are sort of catching up with each other as well. A really, really nice relationship between everybody here. And Paka is basically explaining something about something that's relevant between him and Blaine. And I think that, Paka is actually getting along with the family really quite well. So everybody, there's never any drama when they're all together. So it's really great. They all really do get along. Okay, so Sienna has some news for Paka. And basically she lets him know, like, hey, I broke up with what's-his-face, and, I broke up, so I'm single. Basically is what she's saying. And Paka is just kind of like, yep, I had a feeling, I think that Paka's kind of point of view is that he's just been waiting, like, even though she friend-zoned him, I think that he knew secretly, like somewhere deep down, that they had a special connection, and that it was gonna work out. So he basically asks her out, and she says yes. And by the way, the little pop-ups that were coming up, it was just like he has the sage archetype or something like that. So that's a good positive personality trait. So there's nothing wrong there. There's absolutely the same as basically since the beginning, except for that one little part. Where Paka was just kind of like, oh, no, who would find you attractive, right? It was so rude, but that's literally like the only time they've ever had a negative interaction. So yeah, I think that this was just kind of in the making. We'll chalk that up to being a nervous fluke. Okay, and so basically, while they were talking though, Sienna was telling him like, hey, actually, thank you for bringing my mom some flowers. And also, thank you so much for, bringing me those cookies the other day. And Paka's like, I didn't bring you any cookies. What are you talking about? And so Sienna's like, are you serious? You didn't bring me any cookies? And he's like, no. Did somebody leave you cookies? And she's like, yeah, maybe it was one of my girlfriends. And Paka's like, oh, okay. No worries. So then they rejoin the parents in the room. And so Monica and Bill are just kind of still not getting along about the baby. But that's all right. And so since Monica's up, we can finally give her a proper hug and tell her, congratulations, our little baby sister. And so Monica's like, you gonna take the baby? And so Sienna's like, yeah, I'll take the baby. You kidding? And, Bill's like, Monica, no jokes. Stop making jokes. But yeah, so also, yeah, Paka says hello to her, and, she welcomes him warmly. She's like, thanks for the flowers and all. And so, Blaine's kind of taking care of the baby while everybody's sort of chatting a little bit. And it's just a really nice atmosphere, as per usual. Alright, so Sienna and Paka head back home, and they tend to the baby. Monica had to call... Nope, not Monica, Sienna. Sorry, Sienna had to call Alex back to take care of the baby while they were out. And I find it hilarious that anytime anybody sits down, they find money. Okay, so here's Paka. Paka's basic, his basic, what do you call it? Not instinct, what do you call it? Motive for this evening is to get fresh. Because he and Sienna have never actually, consummated their relationship, because they technically were not in a relationship, and he's certainly looking to change tonight. So that's why he basically took her home. And Sienna is not necessarily saying no, because she has been missing the lovin' ever since, Kohei decided to take off during the entire, Christmas holiday and leave her high and dry, literally. So Sienna's totally into it. So Paka basically asked her, hey, so since we're together, we don't really need, protection, right? And so Sienna was like, in the back of her head, Yeah, we don't need protection. So she basically just told him that, yeah, it'll be okay. So then they basically kiss and decide that they're basically going to consummate their relationship. So we're going to let them basically do that. And they head off to the bedroom for a little hanky panky. But this time it's different because they actually legitimately love each other. Like their green relationship is almost max, and their romantic relationship is really green. And as you can see here, Paka has a really good outlook for their relationship, and that's all the positive indication that I need that we made the right choice. But unbeknownst to them, there's somebody watching outside, and that somebody is really unhappy about the events that are unfolding as he is peeping through the window. And this mysterious guy, I wonder about him. What are his motives with Sienna? What does he want from Sienna? Well, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching this episode, and I hope to see you again in the next one.